Well, we're up.
No, that's why more.
Great, thank you. Oh, nice.
Some work around the house. So we were talking about tiling this. So
Okay. Oh, very
Get us
well.
stuff. I write it off anyway.
Mr. Abraham.
Okay.
He speaks so much.
Okay. Yep, thank you.
Hopefully not forever, so.
Land and tourism.
What's that?
Oh,
Land and tourism.
Plus.
That's nice.
Yeah, well, Abraham. Okay.
Hebrew.
Yeah.
Be culturally sensitive.
I can say the first three in it. Letters and a little. I am big.
Thank you.
Yep. I
I let them know they should be here by 9:15.
Okay.
And then somehow we're gonna figure out how to get the other three down.
4.
Good morning, Celine.
Schmidt.
Good morning.
What do you have for me today?
Olatin Boson.
A lot of Nelson. Okay, yeah. Okay.
Good morning, Mr. Bitar.
Yeah.
Good morning, Judge. How are you today?
All right,
Yeah.
we're just waiting for the prosecutors to get here.
Yes, sir.
No.
And Ms. Medina is co-counsel on the case, Judge.
Okay. Good morning, Ms. Medina.
Good morning, Your Honor. Pleasure to hear your voice.
Right. Right. Uh-huh.
Ms. Woods. Yeah, Ms. Woods.
Are you retained in on Lagunas? Ms.
We
Medina?
are, Your Honor. We are, Your Honor.
All right.
We did file the appearances last night, but I think it takes a little bit to catch up.
Okay. All right, Mr. Drain is here. Good morning, Ms. Drain.
Good morning, Judge.
Are you on Barnes and Lagunas?
No, I don't think I'm on that one. I'm
No.
on Barnes.
You say you are on Barnes?
Yes, I am on Barnes.
Okay. We're ready on Barnes.
Case number 2405-700201, people of the state of Michigan versus Deja Burns. Defendant is charged in count 1 and 2, assault with intent to do great bodily harm, less than murder by strangulation. Counts 3 and 4, assault with a dangerous weapon.
Appearances for the record, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. Shelley Drain for the people, P number 60249.
Mr. Bitar, Ms. Medina?
Damn, Lagoon. Lagoon.
Judge, we're on Laguna. It's not Barnes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I don't have an attorney here for Barnes.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Good morning.
Okay, Ms. Moses is on her way.
Ms. Wilma? Ms. Wilma? Are you here on Lagunas? Can you hear me?
She's on, over to Boston,
Oh, it's not.
and Miss James there.
Good morning, Judge. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. I had to change my settings here. I am here on Fullerton Boulevard.
Okay. Waiting on Miss James. Ms. Moses? Ms. Moses?
Ready, Judge.
Okay. We're ready.
Calling case number 2405722801, people of the state of Michigan versus Abel Lagunas, defendant is charged in count 1, criminal sexual conduct, second degree.
Appearances for the record, please.
Thank you, Judge. Erica Moses on behalf of the people, P 78491.
And
Good
Crystal
morning, Your
Marie
Honor.
Medina-
Daniel Batar on behalf of Mr. Lagunas, P 62191.
and Crystal Marie Medina, Your Honor, P number 77211 on behalf of Mr. Lagunas.
All right, and councilors, what's your pleasure?
Judge, we were just retained on this case last night. We're asking the court to adjourn the PCC until the 29th. That's a week from today. We'll be in contact with Ms. Moses, put in a discovery request, and go from there.
Is there a possibility this may resolve itself short of an exam?
I don't think so, Judge.
All right, well,
And
I will
Judge,
say there's only one witness, Judge, and it's an adult. There were no disclosures made by the child, so it's a quick exam.
And Judge, I believe we would also need an interpreter present for the exam.
all right, then I'll set it for exam today, but I'll give you enough time to get the discovery and review the same findings. Let's
Yes,
set it
Judge.
for May 31st at 10 o'clock.
That's the exam date, Judge?
Yes.
Is there any way we can do 11 o'clock, Judge, on that date? The reason I say that is I have a trial that's on the 30th. I think it'll be done at that time. I'm just not positive. I think it's just a one-day trial.
May 31st at 11 o'clock.
Thank you, Judge.
We continue. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Judge.
Sir, in the Wayne County Jail, what's your name? Sir, in the Wayne County Jail, what's your name? Is that you? Your name?
Okay. Abel Rodas.
Oh, you're Mr. Lagunas. Okay, you're all set, Mr. Lagunas. Your next court date is May 31st at 11 o'clock. You're all done, sir. Ms. Tucker, good morning.
Good morning, Your Honor.
You're here on Deja Barnes.
Yes, sir.
Calling case number 2405-700201. People of the state of Michigan versus Deja Barnes. Defendant is charged in counts 1 and 2, assault with intent to do great bodily harm, less than murder or by strangulation. Counts 3 and 4, assault with a dangerous weapon.
Appearances for the record, please.
Deja Barnes.
Good morning, Your Honor. Shelley Drain for the people, P number 60249.
Good morning, Your Honor. Tamika Tucker, PA 5402 on behalf of Deja Barnes, who's present on Zoom.
Tell us your name, Ms. Barnes.
Deja Barnes.
What's your pleasure, Ms. Tucker?
Your Honor, I am still in need of video discovery, and Ms. Barnes would like to hold her preliminary examination.
I'll send you the discovery.
Thank you.
Court will continue the plea of not guilty and set this matter for preliminary examination on May 29th at 9:15.
I can't do May 29th, Your Honor.
The whole day?
The whole day.
May 31st at 9?
That works for me, Your Honor.
May 31st at 9 o'clock, bond will be continued.
Thank you.
And Ms. James?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you ready on Olutobasin?
Yes.
Celine,
Yes.
do we have Mr.
Yes.
Olutobasin available?
Yep, we're bringing them in right now.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we're ready.
Calling case number 2206-005701. People of the state of Michigan versus Abraham Olutobasin. Defendant is charged in counts 1 through 3, criminal sexual conduct, first degree.
Appearances for the record, please.
Sorry about that. Good morning, Your Honor. Erin Wilmeth, P 82085, appearing on behalf of the people.
And good morning, Your Honor. Nick Collins, appearing on behalf of Mr. Olutobasin.
Good morning, Mr. Olutobasin. Tell me your name for the record.
My name is Olatubosun Ibrahim.
Okay, I think that's what he said. Do we have a report back from the forensic center?
Yes, Your
We
Honor.
do,
we do.
Your Honor.
Someone enlighten me, please.
Your Honor, the report received, I received it earlier this week, but it is dated May 16th of 2024. It opines that Mr. Olaton Boson has been restored to competency.
All right, Ms. James?
Judge, we are asking for an independent.
Why is that, Ms. James?
Judge, he's incompetent for nearly the entire 18 months, and days before this hearing, he's determined to be competent again. We're asking for independent for those reasons.
That's your only reason?
Judge, I have not been able to communicate with Mr. Olaton Boson effectively. So, yes.
When did you try to communicate with him? When was the last time you met with him?
They allowed him to call me last week, I believe it was. It was about a week ago. And I haven't had any effective communications with him.
Okay, do you have a doctor in mind?
I can't think of her name right this second, Judge. If you give me 1 second, I can try to find my list. 1 second, Judge. Judge, it looks like Dr. Ambrosky, Bramsky, may be available to do it.
Well, Judge, may I?
Yes.
Of course, I don't have an issue with defense getting it independent if that's what they feel they need to do, but I do want to direct the court to MCL 330.2040, which does require the court to forthwith hear and redetermine the issue of incompetence, meaning a decision should be made today and an order entered. At this time, we have a report from the Forensic Center stating that Mr. Olaton Boson is competent. He's been at the Forensic Center since January 9th of 2024. The report outlines all of the progress, including the issues that they encountered with Mr. Olatunbosin that we have seen ourselves in court. And has outlined a big issue for him being trust. So at this time, I understand Ms. James has a generalized objection, but there's nothing in front of this court today to say that Mr. Olatunbosin remains incompetent. So based on the statute and requiring the court to make that determination forthwith, and even observing Mr. Olatunbosin today, I have not heard any outbursts or any issue to lead me to believe that the court could not forthwith enter an order finding him competent, allowing the defense to obtain their independent, and going from there. And should we need a hearing on that in the future, certainly that's what we may need to do. But based on a generalized objection and when this independent doctor could potentially do the evaluation, I don't believe defense should benefit on the statute just running out.
I think it causes the statute to run out.
I didn't hear you, Ms. James.
I don't think it causes the statute to run out. Mr. Olatunbosin, I get that the forensic center is saying that he's competent. That's their opinion. I think it stops right there. And then we are allowed to get an independent if we deem that fit. It doesn't mandate that the statute runs out.
Well,
So
that's kind of what I was saying, that if an order is entered today stating that he's competent, then Ms. James can get her independent. That's what I was stating.
So my understanding was that if the defense requests an independent, it kind of tolls the statute so that the statute does not run out.
That was my point. I would agree with that.
Not without an order from the court deeming Mr. Olatunbosin at this time competent. I did consult with our civil commitment team who handles all of these issues. That just means as of today, without an independent in front of the court to consider, and with the report finding Mr. Olatunbosin competent, that
so what you're asking the court to do is to find Mr. Olatunbosin competent, but adjourn the matter to allow Ms. James to get an independent. And then if the independent says something different, then we can have a hearing at that time.
Exactly right. Thank you.
But Judge, it seems to me that if you enter an order deeming him competent, then let's just say the independent comes back and says, no, he's incompetent. There's already an order in place, so there's no hearing to be had.
That's not true. I can grant a hearing. Competence can be raised at any time. So the court will make a finding that the defendant is competent to stand trial. However, I will adjourn the preliminary examination on this matter until after you receive your independent, and depending on what your independent doctor says, if a hearing will be necessary or not.
Understood.
All right. So, court makes a finding that the defendant is competent to stand trial. I will adjourn or set matter for, let's say, I'm going to set it for a competency hearing, however, instead of a preliminary examination. And if it's not necessary to have the hearing because the independent agrees with the forensic center, we'll set it for preliminary examination. So we'll set the matter for a competency hearing. We can set it for July 2nd. That gives about 6 weeks.
What time, Your Honor?
That'll be 8:30. Is that a sufficient time, Ms. James?
Judge, I will defer to the court. If there are any issues, I will let the court know, but I'll contact the doctor this afternoon.
And Your Honor, should
July
I subpoena?
2nd.
I'm sorry, Judge.
Go ahead.
Should I subpoena the forensic center doctor for that day?
Yes.
Okay.
And if they're not needed, we'll know beforehand. Okay. July 2nd at 8:30. Bound to be continued.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Everybody have a nice day.
You as well.
I'm going to keep him at the forensic center to continue receiving treatment until that time. Because I see a difference myself in his behavior, but that doesn't mean that his attorney is able to communicate with him. So we'll see what happens.
Thank you.
Thank
Fair
you.
enough, Judge. Thank you.
Thank you.
We have Attorney Haddad here.
He's not, Judge. We gotta give Mr. Francis in custody.
Good morning, Judge King, how are you?
Good, sir, how are you?
Good, sir. I give you my cards. Say it, that's right, E.P. Last name is, okay. For your chart. For your chart. Oh. What's your last name? Z-A. Yes, I am. So, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Let's go.
Okay.
How's it going?
Yeah.
Is the attorney out there?
He's not, we're still not. Everybody else is. It's like Ferris, Farris.
Okay, I got it. Say, here's the George. You wouldn't happen to have a number for Ferris or not, would you?
You see, with NPS.
I don't remember Ferris or not.
sent an email to. His office phone took this. Yes, this is. I did leave a message, I've been taking this away, Judge. He got the message. Hi, is this attorney? Is this attorney Kenneth? Okay. Yeah, I did just see email. All right, I'll let him know. Yeah, first and first. Okay, I'll let him know. All right, bye. We see it on the track.
you will set. So,
The interpreter needs to be at home. So,
or Zoom with PPO.
so would you be able to go on the phone and do?
Yeah, of course. I just want to inform judge.
All right, that's fine. We'll work around.
Okay, thank you.
Judge, have you been in touch with Mr. Hadid?
He's on his way.
Okay, no, just, that's what his client just told me.
Good. Sorry, Judge, I wasn't even at another court. My wife's 9 months pregnant and she wasn't feeling well. I had to take my youngest to preschool and then fighting through the construction downtown. I'm sorry to keep everybody waiting.
Well, that's not the issue. The issue is I have to call around looking for it.
I left a
Let us
message.
know that you would be late.
I did. I called the chamber's number and left a
After
message.
we were searching around looking for you, and that was well after the appointed time at 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
That's not acceptable.
Okay. Yeah, I think I left a message at 9:15 or 9:10 or 9:15, Judge. Sorry about that.
We have a party step in. Mr. Kenneth?
He's walking in right now.
Calling case 2457068, people of the state of Michigan versus Samad Mia. In is charged with count 1 assault with intent to do great bodily harm, less murder or by strangulation. Count 2 domestic violence. Appearances for the record.
Good morning, Your Honor. Shelley Drake for the people, P number 60249.
Good morning, Your Honor. Good morning to your staff. Ferris Haddad, P71538, on behalf of Mr. Mia.
Tell us your name, sir.
Samed Mia.
There's a date and time set for preliminary examination. Are you ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor, I am ready to proceed. I can call witness.
Any preliminary matters before you call your witness?
No, Judge.
Okay, call your witness.
There's an issue. Yeah, if that's okay with the judge. There is one bond issue with his tether that we've been discussing, Your Honor, but we can discuss it. If the court will allow us to discuss it after the exam, that's fine as well.
Don't you think that would be prudent?
Yeah, there, once in a while, judges, like, let's say the case is bound over, then they say, well, it's not, I'm not discussing bond anymore, it's bound over, so I just wanted to make sure that we could do it after, that's all.
At this time, people would call Ms. Lisa O'Connor.
You have this phone? Your name for the record, sir?
Judge, good morning. Sayed Zaman, the court of Quality Chapter.
Do you have his name?
Yes, Judge.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to translate from Arabic to English, English to Arabic to the best of your ability?
Judge is bound.
Bangla, Bangla to English, English to Bangla to the best of your
I
ability.
do, Your Honor.
Thank you very much. Ma'am, please step forward, raise your right hand.
Oh, Samuel. Direct.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Swear to God.
Thank you, ma'am. Please have a seat in the witness box next to me. Sir, I'll have you speak into the microphone since we'll be translating.
Yes.
Okay, stand to her side. All right. You may begin when you're ready.
Thank you. All right, please state your name once more for the record. Thank you. Thank you. Ms. Sultana, I'm going to be asking you some questions today. If you don't understand something or if you want me to repeat it, please let me know.
Okay.
All right. I want to bring your attention back to the date of May 3rd of this year, 2024. Do you remember that date?
আমি তোমার মেয়ের 3 তারিখ 2024 সম্বন্ধে একটু জিজ্ঞাসা করতে হয়েছে।
Okay. Were you do you remember that date?
আমার মনে আছে 9 তারিখের কথা। Yes.
Where were you living on that date?
তুমি ও তারিখ কই থাকতে? কই আসলে? কোন ঠিকানা? I was in my husband's house residence.
Okay, and what is the location address for that?
বাসার ঠিকানা এটা 12665 Cherish.
Is that in the city of Detroit, the county of Wayne?
In the city of Detroit, county of Wayne. Yes.
Okay, and you said you were living in your husband's house, is that right?
আপনি বলছেন আপনার স্বামীর ঘর আপনার আসলাম।
What is
Yes.
Thank you. What is your husband's name?
আপনার স্বামীর নাম কি তার? সামেদ মিয়া।
Thank you. Do you see Samed Mia in the courtroom here today?
আপনি দেখো কেছেন সামেদ মিয়া আজকে কোর্টরুম আসেনি? Yes, অনলাইন জানো।
For identification purposes for the court, could you tell us where he is in the courtroom and what he's wearing?
We'll stipulate to identify.
So no.
Okay, thank you. All right, so you indicated that you were at your husband's house. Was there anyone else there at the house when you were at the house?
আপনার যে ওদিন ঘটনার দিন আপনার ছাড়া আপনার সাথে আর কেউ আসেনি? Yes, was my husband, parents, father, mother, and his sister was living.
Okay, do you all live together in that house?
আপনাকে সব একসাথে থাকতে হবে বসা। Yes.
Do you have any children with your husband?
আপনার স্বামীর লোক আপনার কোন বাচ্চা আছেন? 2 kids.
How old are they?
তারা বয়স কত? One baby is 26 months, the other baby is 6 months.
Okay, and were those 2 children with you at the house that day?
All तारीख को दूसरा बच्चा का लोग आसेंगे. Yes.
Okay, did anything happen involving you and your husband on that day?
এদিন আপনার স্বামী আপনার মাঝে কোনো কিছু করছেন? Yes.
What happened?
কিটা করছে? My husband, he always talked to the other women. He chatted with them, flirted with them. If I told him to stop, then he get mad. He hit me, harassed me, and his family do the same.
Okay, now I'm talking specifically about this day. What happened, if anything, between you and your husband on this
আমি
day?
সুনির্দিষ্ট হবে just that the whole মুহূর্তে কি হয়েছিল আপনার সম্বন্ধে ছিলেন one second and just to get to this.
Okay, can you tell me what happened that day specifically?
আপনি ও তারিখ কি হয়েছে খালি কইটা ও দিন My husband, parents, sisters asked me to leave the house because they think I'm lying, that he don't chat with other one, and but he do. So I tell them, they get mad and they ask me to leave the house that day.
Okay, and did you leave the house?
But I called the police.
Okay, why did you call the police?
The police never knows now. My husband hit me and he pulled my neck by his hand. The cops saw the scratch on my neck.
Okay, so this is what I specifically want to talk about, is what you just stated about what your husband physically did to you. This is what I want to talk about.
Exactly
Okay, so where in the house were you and your husband?
আপনি এবং আপনার জামাই মানে নদীর কই আসতা আপনার জামাই কই আসে he left the house 15 minutes মানে পুলিশ কো ঘর 15 মিনিট আগে his parents want me to leave the house. They don't let me live in peace. They just want me to get out.
Okay, again, I am asking questions specifically about the physical altercation between you and your husband.
আমি সুনির্দিষ্টভাবে একটা জায়গায় আপনার জামাইয়ের মধ্যে কি হয়েছে সেটি
How did that start on that day?
ওর কিলা স্টার্ট হয়েছে So that morning, I went to him and said, we need to make an appointment for my boy, because for neurology doctor, they want me check my son, his behavior, like, problem, and he get mad, he don't want to do that, and he constantly talking to another woman. His parents always curse me, yell at me.
Okay, again, I am asking about the physical altercation between you and your husband, the physical altercation.
Objection, Your Honor. She's testified that she called the police because she was asked to leave the house. She didn't testify that that particular day there even was a physical altercation, and now the prosecutor is starting to lead her to that conclusion over and over again, ask and answer.
Answer the question that she asked. If there was a physical altercation that day, like.
আপনার টাইম খুঁজে যে শারীরিক ভাবে আপনার go ahead.
Okay, so what did your husband do to you that day, if anything?
আপনার জামাই যদি সেই দিন সেই মুহূর্তে কিছু করিয়া থাকে কিতাব আছে Before he went to the shop, that time, like his parents told him, they make him mad, and they told him that tell her to leave the house, and that's what happened. His father always wanted me to leave the house.
Did he do anything physically to you that day?
Objection, Your Honor. Abstinence. This is like the 10th time that we've asked the question.
Well, she did say that he hit her on that day. She did say that.
Not that day.
Hour before I called the police, he hit me.
Okay, can you tell me about that? Exactly what happened?
তুমি বিষয় আমার সুনির্দিষ্ট করতে পারবেনি কিটা হয়েছে He hit me that morning, and he said, I'll talk to the other woman, I will stop it. I went to his parents, they're saying thing, they don't believe me, they want me to leave the house.
Okay, so that day, you said he hit you. Where did he hit you?
My neck and my hand, shoulder.
He hit you in your neck?
Yes. He couple times he tied his hand in my neck.
Okay, explain what you mean by tied his hand on your neck.
তুমি বর্ণনা হইও তোমারিয়া দোস্তে বলতে কিটা বুঝাইতেছে He hold tight my neck, hold my neck, and he said, I'll talk to the woman, like I'll stop it, and he look at that picture. I cannot tolerate it.
Okay. All right, I want to know specifically what he did with his hand.
আমি সুনির্দিষ্টভাবে জানতে চাই সেদিন হাত দিয়া তাকে কাঁপছে হাত দিয়া He hit my neck. Day before and the day I left the house.
Okay.
He did the same
thing. Okay, all right. Was his hand just on your neck or was he putting pressure on your neck.
He just তোমার গলা টলা ধরছে না প্রেসার দিছে he pressured me, like he hold my neck with pressure. I show the cups, that scratch I had.
Okay, what did you show the police officers?
I show that on my shoulder she pointing my shoulder that I told the police I want to leave, like then the cops went inside to my babies.
Okay, so you said that he did put pressure on your neck. Could you breathe?
আপনার যখন তাই আপনার গলা জমা দোষা তখন আমি শ্বাস নিতে পারতাম I did I was able to breathe, but it was very hard, it was pain.
And where was
he punch on my head too. I have a spot on my head, the farm.
Okay, and was that at the same time?
Oh, same time what happened? Yes.
How long was it that you couldn't breathe, that it was hard to breathe and you had pain? How long?
3-4 seconds. I couldn't eat anything because of my neck pain.
What do you mean by that? Explain, please.
একটু বর্ণনা হয়ে হোক এটা বুঝতে বুঝতে যান
মানে জোড়া খাওয়ালে আমি খুব ব্যথা পাইছি আমার গলার ফোনে আমি খাইতে পারছি না দিতে পারছি না আমি খাইতে জোড়া
he was because it was hold my neck so tight I cannot swallow any food, it was pain.
For how long?
কত বের আছে এই সমস্যা
আমার এক সপ্তাহ
was 1 week.
All right, thank you. I have no further questions.
আমার
Cross exam.
কোন তালমো পিলা প্রশ্ন
This incident that you just testified about, you said did it occur that day that you called the police, or did it occur a day or two prior to when you called the police? The incident that you just testified about, where there was a physical altercation, did it occur the day she called the police, or a day or two prior to when she called the police?
John, excuse me. Can I have a second? I just tell the circuit could meet you.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. I'm on the front of like, can I finish it up in 36 court and be right back? ভাই আপনার টু কোর্স সার্ভিস নাই আপনার আরেকটা তারিখ দিতে হইব তারা দিব ওকে আপনি ইমেলও চেক করে জান আরেকটা ডেট দিবা আপনার স্টুডেন্ট লাগে ওকে আপনার নাইনথে আপনার তার জানাইটা আমার নেক্সট কমপ্লিট আগে তারে জানাইটা Should I have to give him that paper? Or just? তাদের তারা approved it was a noise. Okay. সাহায্য লাগে একটু ইংলিশ না জানে তারা বিপদ পড়ে তারা হেল্প করবে ওকে Thank you. Appreciate it. Go ahead. ভাই আপনি সুপদিন আপনার ইমেল চেক করে দেন Okay. Thank you. My pleasure. Thank you. Sorry, but thank you, Judge, appreciate it.
Sir, I'm gonna strike that question and
Yes.
and start over, okay? Thank you. You said that you had been arguing for a couple days, is that right?
আপনি হয়ে গেছে তার লগে ঘটনার আগে 2-3 দিন ধরে তার লগে আপনার তর্ক বিতর্ক তা চলে
মানে আমি কই জানতে তাকে যা করতাম না বাবা পিকচার
I told him to
naked picture
naked picture he watch. I told him to stop it. I don't like that.
like Somalian
That's not what I asked. What I said was, you had been arguing about these things for a couple of days, correct?
আমি তোমার জানা জিজ্ঞেস আমি তো জিজ্ঞেসি না আমি জিজ্ঞেসি তোমার যে ঘটনা 2 দিন আগে ধরে তার লগে তর্ক বিতর্ক জড়িত আছে আবার না একটা জিজ্ঞাসা yes
And it was because it started because you were upset with him because you found something on his phone. Is that right?
To me, ওটাই ওটা করছো because তুমি দেখছো এখন something করে যেটা তোমার বিরক্ত করছে I don't like that. If I go close to him, he said, "Don't come close to me." He asked me not to go close to him. He told me that he don't like me.
Okay, and you told the police, one of the first things you told the police is that I found him talking to girls on his phone and that he doesn't love me. Is that right?
Can you repeat that again?
You told the police that I found things on his phone and he doesn't love me. Is that right?
আপনি পুলিশে কইছেন যে আপনি ফোন জিনিস দেখছেন এটা এবং আপনার আপনি পুলিশে কইছেন ফাইন আপনারে কইছে আপনার টাইম ভালো ফাইন yes his parents his sisters all the time mentally abuse me.
Okay, and that
they asked me to leave the house.
And so that day on May 3rd, you wanted to leave, correct?
So May 3rd তারিখ আপনি সাইশন বার তো সব বেজে গিয়া yes they don't want to stay there. His parents don't leave me in peace in the house.
And you wanted to take the kids with you. Is that what you said to the police?
Yes. Yes. They asked me, the police asked me, do you want your passport and documents? It would like, I told them they're not going to give you. I just want to take my case and leave.
And you have you had a child abuse arrest and a CPS case against you, is that right?
Object to the relevance of that.
How's that relevant?
It goes to possible motivation to fabricate
It's not
something.
relevant to me, sustain.
Okay. It's just simply yes or no question, but I understand you, I'll move on. What time, do you know what time you originally called the police?
আপনারা মনে আছে নি এক্স্যাক্টলি আপনার কয়টার সময় আপনি পুলিশ কল করছেন 4 o'clock.
And how long did the police take to come?
পুলিশের কত বেলা লাগছে আইতে like 5 minutes.
Okay. And you're saying you only called them one time?
এবং আপনার বলছেন খালি একবার আপনি পুলিশ কল করছেন yes.
And what did you tell them?
এবং আপনি কিতাব বলছেন তারা they told me like I told them like I want to leave this house you know and whatever has happened I explained them and they said we are coming. That what? We are coming.
Did you give them the address right away?
আপনার তারা ঠিকানা দিচ্ছেন এর সাথে সাথে yes
And when the police arrived, you had on a shawl and hijab similar to what you have on today, is that right?
আপনার সুজলা ফ্রাসে ওলা হিজাব পরা আছে যখন পুলিশ আয় was a scarf on wasn't hijab but was a scarf on my head.
Okay, and the scarf covered your neck and your shoulders, correct?
আপনার গলা এবং শোল্ডার আপনার উন্না দিনা আছে yes
And after complaining that your husband doesn't love you and he's talking to other women, eventually you said that he hit you on your shoulder, is that right?
so আপনার টাইম আপনার কোশ্চেন আপনার টাইম নো তো ওয়ামেন অর পাস ভিডিও কল এরপর দেখুন আপনার বালা ফাইন না এরপর দেখুন আপনার টাইম আপনার হিট করছে এটা ঠিক তো yes
And you told him you have a mark on your shoulder?
আপনি কোশ্চেন আপনার শোল্ডার মার্ক আছে দাগ আছে not now was that time that's all.
Her answer was not anymore, but not right now, but she had a mark at the time, is
So
that right?
তখন আছিল Marcus yes was for a week.
Okay, and at any point, what did you show them? Did you show them the mark on your shoulder?
আপনি কিটা দেখেছেন তারা আপনি গালো শোল্ডার তারা দেখছে আপনারা দাগ আছে yeah still yeah they saw the shoulder and I have she pointing her hand she said still I have the a spot in my hand.
Okay, and that's all you showed them, is that correct?
ওকে আপনি তারা দেখেছেন yes
এরপর আমার ঘর কেউ আমার তারা পালা পায় না তারা দেখেন তারা কইনি আমার তাই আমার দেখে আর লঙ্গ করে দিয়ে নিয়া সারিয়া দিব যেন আমি পুলিশ কল করি ওকে তাই করতে আমার বাইরে যা কোসাম করে দেখে নিয়া সারিয়া দিব বলে আমার হাতল দিয়ে আমি সারিয়া দিব আমার প্রসেস টাইপ
his elder sister told me like that day I called the police she said like you harassing my brother I'm going to take you to the backyard and naked you
And what?
What?
make you I'll take off your clothes from you I'll make you naked I'll take you to the backyard his sister told me and then I called the police.
Okay, so you were very upset with him and his whole family.
So আপনি তার ফ্যামিলির লগে এবং তার লগে খুব মর্মাহত আসতা I was trying to live with them but his parents everybody harassed me. That's why I couldn't stay there. I was trying to help her stay there.
What time did this, you finally testified to the prosecutor that there was a physical altercation that morning. Around what time did that happen?
আপনি কইছেন সরকারি প্রশ্ন করে যে শারীরিক আবারে আমার করা হয়েছে নির্যাতন করা হয়েছে এগুলো করে থাকলে এগুলো অনুমানিক কয়টার সময় হয়েছে
সকালে 12টার দিকে হয়েছে আর আমার আব্বা মানে সকালে
It was at 12 p.m.
আমার আব্বা মানে সকাল থেকে রাত পর্যন্ত গালাগালি করে মেন্টালি আমার পাগল বানাই
His father yelled me since morning till evening want to make me crazy.
Is that why you called the police? Is that why you called the police?
Police conversation.
সবসময় লেখে সিস্টার দেখে তারপর আমার আব্বা হচ্ছে আমি থাকতাম না আমার সিস্টার হয়েছে আমরা তাই লেখে জানো দিব পয়সাইয়া দিব আমি ও তার লাগে
So I told you the story like my husband watched the that picture talked to the other woman my his parents harassed me humiliate me and that's why.
Okay. And when you called 911, correct?
Yeah. Then I know from Rosani. Yes. His father cursed me all day long, like mentally, humiliate me, harass me.
Okay, when you called 911, you weren't coughing. You weren't clearing your throat, is that right?
What was the question, sir?
When she called 911, she wasn't coughing, she had no throat strain, she wasn't clearing her
আপনি
throat.
যখন পুলিশ কল করেন তখন তো আপনি কোনো কস করছেন না, মানে হচ্ছে না নর্মাল মারছেন পুলিশ
আমার গলা দিয়ে গ্রাসে আমি ইএমএস ওদের জানি আমি সিনা এখন আমার চাবি চালু আমি এখন তারা সাই ইএমএস কল করে আমি সিনা আমি পড়ে যাই না পড়ে তারা কাছে না
I did talk, but was pain in my neck. They came, they asked me if I had gone to the EMS, I told him no, and then later I went to the hospital.
আমার আব্বা একদিন আমার বাচ্চাকে দৌড়াতে আমি বলে আমার গালি গেলা চলে আমার বাচ্চাকে প্লে বলে খান্তি আমার আব্বা আমার গালি
If the kids playing around the house, my father-in-law get mad, he says, like it's because of me, I don't make them disciplined, that's why they do that. He cursed me, the kids don't understand.
Okay. When the police arrived, your main physical complaint was that he hit you on your shoulder and your arm, is that right?
This is all I said, all not main, that video message, that I have not shoulder or shoulder and neck. And the head too.
And the head?
He punched my head, I had, like bruise in my head because he punched me.
Are you sure you told the police that?
Yes, I did.
Did you show them the bruise?
After bruise, they actually the head bruise, the cops didn't look at it, but hospital did look at it.
Okay, well, you didn't show them the bruise, correct?
But police have the shoulder and my hand.
That's what you showed.
But
Just the shoulder and
my neck was swallowed,
Right, but you just showed them your shoulder and your hand, correct?
I have not shoulder or hand that has police, yes.
Okay, I'm wrapping up, Your Honor. At no point that day did he block your nose, correct?
What was the question? I'm sorry.
At no point that day did he block your mouth or nose.
আপনি কোন সময় তাই আপনার না হতো দোষই না মনে হতো আপনার চাকরিটাও তারাই না
ওলা আমি যে সময় তামলে কই না যে কোন সময় আমি তো কই না কারণ অলওয়েজ আমার তো ওলা আমি চলো আমি যে সময় কই তাই না আমার মারন সব সময় আমার
Every time we talk to others people, if I tell them to stop, they start hitting me and yell at me.
It's just a yes or no question. That day, he didn't block your nose or mouth, correct? Yes or no?
Hey মুহূর্তে আপনার কাছে যেখানে খালি হাবা না হইবা কথা বলাই কথা ও মুহূর্তে দিন তাই আপনার না ও বা মুকুটি মানে দোস্তানি হাবা না no he didn't hold he hold the neck.
Okay. And at no point that day did he intentionally block your blood from circulating, correct?
You gotta rephrase that question. She can't tell what his intent is. She can just tell us what he did and what he said.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'll rephrase. At no point that day did he block your blood from circulation, correct?
Your Honor, I'm gonna object. This witness did not testify to any blood circulation by the defendant.
That's just one of the elements that they have to prove, Your Honor, so I don't know how it can, it's just a simple yes or no question.
What they have to prove is that he blocked circulation.
Well, it could be that or. Huh?
Show me that element.
750.84 is just in the definition of strangulation or suffocation. 1B2, and it says, as used in this section, strangulation or suffocation means intentionally impeding normal breathing or circulation of the blood by applying pressure on the throat or neck or by blocking the nose or mouth.
She's already testified about her normal breathing being impeded.
Okay, I'm just gonna ask you one more question about that then. Okay, next question. During the alleged altercation, did he impede your normal breathing?
আপনার যেদিন অস্ত হয়েছিল আপনাদের রাতে হয়েছিল সেদিন আপনারা টাইম কিলা কিছু করছিলেন যে আপনি শ্বাস নিতে পারছেন না First when he hold my neck, it was pain. I feel, I feel pain and uncomfortable.
You testified that he was hitting you in the neck as well, and you felt pain. When somebody hits you, you feel pain. Was it more of a hit?
আপনি বলছেন আপনার গলার টাইম মারছেন আপনার না খালি দর্শন He said he gonna kill me. He put his hand in my neck and he tightly hold it. He tightly hold my neck.
Well, you said you were able to breathe.
A few seconds, I couldn't breathe. Then, I did breathe. But it was pain.
And do you think he did that on purpose?
I don't know when you got that. Yeah. His parents said that. His parents always, making mad against me. They said, let her go, you can marry somebody else.
And that's what you were worried about that day when you called
They
the
keep
police,
him
right?
mad all the time. So after they always influence her against me.
Right.
Yes, I was worried about that.
And you wanted to take the kids with you, correct?
Okay.
And you wanted the police to help you with that?
Yes.
No further questions?
Yes, please help.
Can you redirect?
I'm gonna ask you just a couple more questions. When you were just asked questions by his attorney, you stated that the defendant said, "I'm going to kill you." Is that right?
Yes.
When did he say that?
The day I left the house.
At what point during the day?
At 12 o'clock.
And what was going on at that exact time when he said that to you?
যখন এটা হয় তখন মানে কিতা ঘটনা ঘটছে মানে মুহূর্তটা After I wake up, I go to the second floor in the attic. After I wake up, I went to the second floor in the attic. Attic, yeah. I saw him, he's talking to the ladies. I told him, and then he hold my neck.
Okay, so did he say, "I'm gonna kill you" before he was holding your neck or after?
When he was holding my neck, he said that.
He said, "I'm going to kill you," is that right?
Yes.
Okay, now, you also stated that you did not go with an ambulance when the police came, is that right?
তুমি কইছো তোমার মন্দির যখন পুলিশ আসে তখন সেই মুহূর্তে তুমি অ্যাম্বুলেন্সে গেছো না No.
Okay, but you said you went to the hospital later, is that right?
বাদে তুমি হসপিটালে গেছো কইছো Yes.
Okay, why did you go to the hospital?
তুমি লোক গেলে না
The what?
Pero que decir ahora mamá.
Which one? First to do what?
I asked her, why did you go to the hospital?
And you answer.
So why she go to the hospital?
Why, yes.
After
Why did you-
hospital किधर है इसका?
Sudah ya sedang berlaku bersifat hai terhasilnya. Ada di tiap dalam mengukur investasi. Karena berlaku saya hai.
It was pain. I cannot swallow anything. Head pain on my shoulder spot there, and I couldn't swallow anything. Feel pain. That's why they told me to go check up, and I went.
Okay, was the pain from the incident where your husband put his hand, put his hand around your neck? Was it from that?
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you, I have no further questions.
Just two things, Your Honor, please.
Okay, that's fair enough. Thank you, ma'am. You may step down. Any other witnesses for the people?
No further witnesses, Your Honor.
Any witnesses for the people?
No, Your Honor.
People,
Your Honor, this time I move to bind over Sergeant Luther's arguments.
counsel.
Your Honor, I mean, you heard that it was all over the place. It's a domestic violence at best. It's just not a GBH. The prosecutors actually can't keep charging GBH on just any he said, she said allegation where it's all over the place. It took her it took Madam Prosecutor almost 10 questions just to get to the point where he hit her, let alone supposedly put his hand on her neck for a few seconds and supposedly put pressure on her neck for a few seconds. The court can take credibility into account. I think the motivation was clear. The motivation is that she's upset that she thinks he's talking to other women. The motivation is that she wanted to take her kids with her. And that's why she called the police. She said that multiple times. She's mad at his family. She's mad at everyone. Again, maybe this is a domestic violence. This is great bodily harm less than murder. It's a borderline case at best. And I think that the court's job is to gatekeep these kinds of cases. So I'll ask the court not to bind it open.
Thank you, Judge. I think we would probably all agree that based on the complainant's testimony, she was very upset about her whole situation with her husband and her husband's family. However, she called the police arrived, she told them what happened. She told us what happened. In terms of the physical altercation, she stated that her husband the defendant was mad at her. He was hitting her. He hit her in the shoulder. He hit her in the head. And he took his hand and put it around her neck. And he was applying pressure, applying pressure so much that, yes, she could not breathe for a short time. So he was restricting her airway, restricting her breathing. And I would also indicate that he was applying pressure to the degree that it hurt her right then, and it hurt her, she said, for a week. It was difficult for her to even eat anything because of what he did. That is a lot of pressure that you would have to put around someone's neck and be squeezing in order to do that. She also indicated that he said, "I will kill you," while he was doing this. All of that together, Your Honor, I do believe amounts to a probable cause for a bind over for count 1, which is specifically assault by strangulation.
So it's not lost on the court that we had maybe a little bit of a language barrier here as it relates to the witness testifying, and it took some time to get her to focus or zone in on what actually took place as it relates to the assault, and more specifically the strangulation part of the assault, which she clearly indicated that the defendant put his hands around her throat and applied pressure to the point to where she was not able to breathe normally, and that days afterwards she still experienced soreness from that. That's all that's required for the assault with intent to do great bodily harm or strangulation. Court, there was nothing inherently incredible about the witness's testimony, even if she did have some other things going on with him and his family and the wife. That presents a question of fact to be determined by a trial. In fact, the court is satisfied that people met the burden of probable cause as it relates to the charges contained in this claim. The court finds those charges were committed in the city of Detroit. The court finds probable cause to believe this committed. The defendant will be bound over to Wayne County Third Circuit Court Criminal Division for further proceedings. His arraignment on the information date and time will be June 5th, 2024 at 9:00 a.m. Bond will be continued.
Judge, can I address bond? I talked about it earlier.
Oh, okay.
So he has a GPS tether and he's not allowed to return to his home. I did speak, we talked about this on the record last time I spoke to Ms. Drain after court. She was kind enough to call me and confirm with the complainant that she's no longer living at his family home. She did indicate at the time that she was okay with him returning home. I actually had another request of the court. I mean, and maybe she changed her mind, so I'll let her speak when I'm done. But my request is, she told me there is no new address that he should be. There's obviously the no contact, the general no contact, which he's respected completely. But there's no new address that she wants placed on his GPS. Maybe the complainant doesn't want him to have her new address. It's understandable. But then there's no point to the GPS tether. He has a really big GPS. It's one of the biggest ones I've ever seen Dickerson put on. It's like this big. And it will never go off if there's no new address. So the no contact, which he has respected, and the complainant has not complained that he has not respected, I think is enough. And I'm asking the court not only to take away to take his home off of his bond restrictions as a no contact address, but also to remove the GPS tether because it will never go off when there's no new address.
Let's take it step by step as it relates to, this is his home?
It's him and his parents.
And he's not there anymore?
No, she did leave.
Okay, so you have no issue with him returning back to that location? Okay, so send me an order to that effect. As it relates to the GPS tether and the complainant's whereabouts, it makes a valid point in that if we don't know where she is, then how can, what good does the GPS tether do?
Yes, she's living somewhere right now that is very temporary, so she's looking for somewhere else to live also, but at this point, I don't even have an address.
Okay, so there's nothing for us to say he can't go near her because we don't know where she is.
So it could be different. So, yes.
It kind of ties the court's hands in that I don't know where to tell the defendant to stay away from.
I agree.
If we don't know where she is.
I agree.
So we're all in agreement that we can remove the tether.
Yes, I don't have an issue.
So send me an order to that effect. You can go home, we'll remove the tether, but he's gonna have no contact whatsoever with her place of employment or anywhere that he knows that she is.
Absolutely.
And may I also just say, the family members that she has talked about, I would just ask her that they don't try to relay any.
No one needs to be contacting her on behalf of the, we'll make that clear.
Of course, and no third party, no communication through third parties. Absolutely.
Okay, goodbye. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Demetrius Gibbons.
Ready.
Come over, girl. Step into your turn.
Calling case 24-57051. People of the state of Michigan versus Demetrius Dante Gibbons. Defendant is charged in count 1 kidnapping, count 2 criminal sexual conduct, first degree grand felony. He also has case 24-57050, charged in count 1 kidnapping, count 2 criminal sexual conduct, first degree multiple variables, count 3 criminal sexual conduct, first degree multiple variables, count 4 criminal sexual conduct, first degree multiple variables, count 5 criminal sexual conduct, first degree multiple variables. Appearances for the record, please.
Good morning, and thank you, Hunter. Good morning, Elish Gallagher on behalf of the people, Assistant Attorney General, P77510.
And good morning, Tiffany on behalf of Demetrius Gibbons, P79667. Mr. Gibbons is present in court. State your name for the record.
Demetrius Gibbons.
Today is the date and time set for preliminary examination in both matters. Are people ready to proceed?
No, Your Honor.
How many witnesses?
I believe, Your Honor, there'll just be one for each case. I guess with a caveat on potentially calling the OIC on one, but I think.
In which case are you proceeding on first?
I was thinking to do the 2012 one first, Your Honor.
Okay.
If that would be okay with the
Case
court.
24-57050. Defendant is charged with count 1 again, kidnapping, count 2 criminal sexual conduct, first degree multiple variables, count 3, 4, 5 criminal sexual conduct, first degree multiple variables. Okay, call your witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. The people call Constance Berry. Spell it. Yeah. CONSTANCE. Berry, BERRY.
People, out of curiosity, why is the Attorney General handling this case?
Yes, Your Honor. For the next couple of years, I've been kind of given to Wayne County to do some of the sections
Oh,
on lounge.
okay. Please raise your right hand, ma'am. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you. Please have a seat. The witness box next to me. There's going to be a microphone on your left once you have a seat. You can pick the base of that up, place it in your lap, and speak directly into that. Okay. And again, when you're ready.
Hey, Your Honor. Ms. Berry, I'm going to ask you some questions from back in January of 2012, okay?
Yes.
Okay. So back in January 20th of 2012, towards the end of that evening, do you recall that evening I'm talking about?
Yes,
Okay. And so what were you doing that night?
I had went to the corner store.
And where's the corner store?
It was on Shiner and Manning, I believe.
Is that in the city of Detroit in Wayne County, Michigan?
Yes,
And what were you doing at the corner store?
I was just going to buy some snacks.
Okay. Did you notice anything unusual when you were buying snacks?
Things were pretty much normal. I didn't notice, like, when I was at the counter, I noticed I just locked eyes with this guy in the store. And then I left the store to walk back home. But before I could make it home, I was assaulted.
Okay, and you said you noticed a guy in the store. Is that the same person that later assaulted you?
Yes.
Okay, did you ever see that person before that night?
No.
Great. Do you see them in the courtroom today?
Yes.
Could you please point them out and identify a piece of clothing?
He's wearing a gray shirt.
Let the record reflect, Your Honor, that the defendant's been identified as the man that assaulted the victim. Thank you, Your Honor. Okay. Do you recall anything else about him that night? What he was wearing, or anything like that?
It was in the wintertime, so he just had on his coat. I believe it was a brown coat.
And so you're walking out of the store. Help me understand what's the first thing you feel on your body.
He walked up behind me and said, "Don't say nothing, just go in the house."
Okay. And what did you feel at that point?
It was his hand. I'm not sure if it was a weapon or not because he never did take his hand out of his pocket at that time.
Okay, tell me more when you say it was his hand or a weapon.
His hand.
Okay. And you were feeling that where?
In my back.
Tell me more about the house.
It was a corner house on the corner of Pelkey and Manning. It was abandoned.
When you heard him say, "Don't say anything," what were you thinking at that point?
I was scared, I didn't know if he had a weapon or anything, so I was just did as I was told.
Okay, and was he putting pressure on your back and walking you forward or something else?
I'm just, like I said, I was just following his direction.
Okay. And I'm gonna show you what is previously marked as people's proposed exhibits 5, 6, and 7, and I've previously shown them to defense counsel, Your Honor.
Yes.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
I want you to look at people's proposed exhibit 5. Do you recognize that, ma'am?
Yes.
Okay, and how do you recognize that?
It's the corner store that I went to.
Okay, and then with people's proposed exhibit 6, how do you recognize that? If you do.
It's the side street that I walked down to get to the store.
Okay, and then people's proposed exhibit 7, do you recognize that photo?
It's the house.
Okay, the house that you just explained to us?
Yes.
Are those fair and accurate depictions of people's 5, 6, and 7 as you recall them back then, 2012?
Yes.
They published the report, Your Honor?
Yes, well, are you moving for the admission?
I'm gonna move to the mission first, yes.
Any objection?
Adjourn.
Admitted.
Thank you. Once you get to this house, what's the first thing that happened?
You made me take off my clothes.
Tell me more when you say make you.
Like you made me pull my pants down.
These kind of makes you take your hands down, pull them down. And when you say oral sex, do you mean that he made his penis go into your mouth? Or something different?
He made me give him oral sex, like he didn't stick it in my mouth, he made me.
Tell me more when you say made, what was he doing?
When he took my hand, like maybe.
Let's try it this way. Was his penis exposed at the time?
Yes.
Did your mouth come in contact with his penis? How, can you explain how? Take your time, I understand this is very difficult.
I had to like suck his penis. Then he vaginally raped me, he also anally raped me.
Okay, so for purposes of this record, we have to know what you mean by, I know it sounds stupid, because I understand what you mean by he made you suck his penis. But we need to know, for purposes of this record, when you say suck his penis, did his penis go in your mouth?
Yes.
Okay, and when you said he vaginally raped you, do you mean that he put his penis in your vagina?
Yes.
Okay. When you said he anally raped you, did he put his penis in your penis? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Do you remember anything about what he did with his hand? Okay, so physically, you had said you were, I think you kind of emotionally, he was pushing the back of your head, is that fair?
Yeah.
Okay, so at that first part, were you on your knees or something different?
Yes, I was on my knees.
And I'm sorry, I'm asking a lot of questions here, but what happened to your body next? You recall?
After the rape, he got dressed and told me, wait 5 minutes, 5 or 10 minutes before I leave.
Okay, and when his penis was inside of your vagina, what were you thinking at that point? What was happening?
I was hurt, I was angry. Like nothing ever happened to me like that before.
Okay, and when he then put his penis into your backside, and were your positioned differently or something? Do you recall?
I was on the floor on my knees.
Okay. What do you remember feeling at that point? What did your body feel?
I was really numb at this point, like I just wanted this to be over with.
And you said he got up and told you to wait?
Yeah.
Right. And what'd you do at that point?
I got up and I went home. And I told my husband and then I called the police.
Okay, and when you called police, did they come?
Yes,
All right, and then where did you go after that? Did you go to a hospital?
yes,
And did you have a nurse check you out at the hospital?
yes,
Okay. And do you recall talking to somebody and getting kind of a sexual assault kit or something along those lines?
yes.
All right, what are you able to tell me about that part?
Well, they took my underwear and, I believe they gave me a STD, check.
Okay. How are you feeling at that point?
I was just so scared. I was like, it actually made me fearful, like I never went anywhere walking ever again since that day.
Tell me more about being fearful.
I'm sorry.
Tell me more about being fearful.
It's just like I was for a while just looking over, like I said, nothing like this that ever happened to me. So it did make me fearful. Like I know everybody in the world is not a monster, but at the same time, like I was just, I couldn't go anywhere, not walking. I can't even go like for a walk for exercise.
And you mean still to this day or something different?
No, to this day.
I'm gonna approach this with you, Your Honor. The people's proposed exhibits 8, 9, and 12. They were previously shown to defense. You look at what I just showed you is exhibit 8. Do you recognize that? Okay, how do you recognize it?
It's the front of the house that where the assault took place.
Okay, and then going over to 9, do you recognize that?
Yes, this is the side of the house.
Okay, and then in people's proposed 12, do you recognize that photo?
Yes, this is the side of the house.
And I'm sorry, I know this is hard. Are those all 3 photos fair and accurate?
Yes.
Okay, please go with permission, Your Honor.
Any objection?
Okay.
Admitted?
Thank you, Your Honor. And published?
Yes. Thank you very much.
And you just saw the inside of that house. Is that the first time you've seen it since 2012?
Yes.
Do you recall, kind of what, if anything, you're able to do to get out of that house?
Well, once he left, I did wait a couple of minutes and I just left out.
Okay. And can you tell me more about, if you're able, are you able to tell me if he wore a condom or not?
He did not, not that I believe. I did not see him with a condom on or a condom left behind. He didn't wear one.
Okay. And did it end abrupt to you or something different? Do you remember?
Once he ejaculated, I guess, then he left. That was just that.
Okay. And do you remember, did that go on you in any capacity? Remember if that got on you when you ejaculated?
I believe it did. There was a sample taken at the hospital.
Okay, so you remember getting swabs at the hospital?
Yes.
Okay. And Your Honor, at this point, the people would move for admission of people's proposed exhibit 1. It is the stain exam from the hospital under 76611B. People would further move for admission of people's proposed 2, 3, and 4, which are the labs that are associated with that stain.
Objection.
Thank you, Your Honor. May I publish the report?
Please, you can actually read it into the record and publish.
Thank you, Your Honor. Okay, would you like me to do that now or after
Yes.
this finish? Okay. With regards to people's exhibit 1, Your Honor, which is ID 12-005 or 055 from January 21st of 2012. And just with regards to page 3 out of 15, the patient's narrative, would you like me to read that part of the record, Your Honor?
Yes.
Okay, the patient states, quote, "I heard running up behind me and he grabbed me and he forced me into the house. He had me get on my knees and give him oral sex. He said, do it good as if you were doing it to your man. He made me pull my pants down and I told him I'm on my period. He said, I'm gonna fuck you in the ass, and he did. And he also raped me vaginally." And then with regards, just for the record, Your Honor, on page 8 of 15, there are various injuries documented around her, with regards to people's 2, it is a lab report. People's 2, 3, and 4 are all lab reports with the numbers NB 12-3212. The first lab report being completed on July 20th of 2012, taking the same pit of victim Constance Perry. The second lab report, which is people's 3, was completed on October 26th of 2012. That was taken, an anal swab from the kit was taken in a known DNA sperm fraction, was created and then put into CODIS. And then people's 4 completed on April 13th of 2022 is CODIS notification with the DNA database, specimen name, Demetrius Gibbons. Those were all associated to the agency number 12-012-00344. May I publish, Your Honor?
Yes.
Ms. Perry, do you remember when you were in that house, his body pressure on your body at all? Were you able to
I don't remember.
And then, do you recall later on, around March of this year, 2024, meeting with the police regarding this case?
Yes.
Okay, and you were shown six different photos, one by one, is that fair?
Yes.
All right, and were you able to pick out the person who assaulted you?
Yes.
I'm just gonna ask a couple more questions about the mental anguish element, Your Honor. Right now, in your everyday life, how has this affected you, if at all?
When I'm out in public places, I am constantly kind of like checking. Again, I'm not walking anywhere, so But when I do like go to the store or something, I'm just always watching my back.
Okay, and since this incident, since this assault, have you had to go to any kind of therapy or counseling or anything like that?
No, I kind of just put it on behind me. I didn't want to have to talk about it.
Thank you, and I have nothing for this minute. Okay.
Cross examine.
Yes, thank you. Good afternoon, Ms. Perry. I just have a few questions for you. I know that this is a very uncomfortable situation. You don't want to have to be here or some other things. But I do have a few questions. Now, the day of the incident, you testified that you walked to the store to get some snacks, correct?
Yes.
And while you were in there, you saw my client in the store as well?
Yes.
Now, when the assault happens, I'm sorry, what time of day was it?
It was in the evening. I don't remember it being dark, so it's probably like around 7 or 8 o'clock.
You said it was dark?
Yes.
And when you were taken, or when you went to the abandoned house, it was still dark outside, correct?
Yes.
And was there any electricity in the house?
No, the house was abandoned, no one lived there.
During the assault, did you see Mr. Gibbons' face?
Yes.
And when was the first time, once you left the store and you were walking back home, when did you first see his face?
As he made me get down on my knees before my face.
When he approached you outside, before you went to the abandoned house, were you able to see his face then?
In the store.
So how did you know the person who approached you outside and took you to the abandoned house was the same person in the store?
Because as I just stated, I looked in his face as I was giving him oral sex.
Okay, so it wasn't until you were actually inside the abandoned house and on oral sex that you saw Mr. Gibbons' face?
Yes.
When you made your police report, did you give the police a description of the person who assaulted you?
Yes.
And I believe the prosecutor asked about the photo lineup that you did. This was done in 2024, correct?
Yes.
Now, you were presented with each photo individually?
Yes.
Do you recall you were present when you did your photo lineup?
With Detective Audie and another lady, I forget her.
Was your police officer?
Yes.
Were you at the police station?
Yes.
Were you in one of the rooms, I'm assuming? You was in one of the rooms?
Yes, in the interrogation room, I believe.
Just 1 second, please. All right, well, I have no further questions. Thank you very much.
Can you redirect? Thank you, ma'am. You may step now. Any other witnesses for the people?
Yeah.
Any witnesses for the defendant?
No, Judge.
Here. Thank you, Your Honor. The people would move for bind over, on counts 1, 2, 4, and 5. The people would also move to amend variables on counts 2, 4, and 5. The tax codes and the MCLs would remain the same. They're all sexual assaults in the first 3, Your Honor. However, right now it's charged under 2 theories, but with the additional testimony of the potential object that was put as an implied weapon, I would like to move to amend just to add that 3rd variable theory.
Just make sure that you prepare amended information.
Of course, Your Honor.
Ms. Howell?
Judge, I do believe that this is a question of fact. However, I don't believe the prosecution has met the burden for count 1 kidnapping. There was no evidence in this record regarding any type of restraint that Ms. Carey had. So, but other than that, it's a question of fact.
I mean, I'm sure Your Honor is aware of the jury instruction for restraint and, I guess under the jury instruction and the definition legally would mean to restrict the movement to confine a person to interfere with their ability or liberty to do something without legal authority. And the restraint doesn't have to exist for any particular time. And I believe the testimony showed the restraint of her physical body. She wanted to go home from the store that night. She wasn't trying to go into this.
She went to an abandoned house. He allegedly came behind her, put his hand in her back. She thought, or wasn't sure if he had a weapon or not, and was ordered to go into this abandoned house where she was sexually assaulted. So her freedom to that extent was restrained, that she thought that he had a weapon, or it was possible that he had a weapon.
I thought she said it was his finger.
She said it was his hand, but she wasn't sure if it was a hand or if he had a weapon. She said he never took it out of his jacket. So the court is satisfied that people that their burden of probable cause as relates to count 1, count 2, count 4, and count 5. Count 3, the court will dismiss for insufficient evidence. So there's no testimony that he used his finger to penetrate the hand. Court finding this charge was committed in the city of Detroit. The court finding probable cause to believe discipline committed. The bind is committed over to Lane County 3rd Circuit Court Criminal Division for proceedings. There's a range of only information. Date and time will be May 29th, 2024 at 9:00 a.m. Witnesses bond.
I'm sorry, Judge, you said May 29th?
Yes.
Just so I'm clear, I can file the information as the amended variables on those counts 2, 4, and 5.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
And Judge, as the bond, I my client, remanded.
Oh, that's about right.
Is this court willing to consider?
Absolutely not. If I had, this is one of those situations where I wish I was the sentencing judge, because the testimony here, the evidence presented to this court today was so overwhelming that I wish I could put the defendant under the jail if these allegations were true. There's no way possible I'm going to reconsider the remand bond. The defendant will be remanded to the custody of the Lane County Sheriff.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I do need a dismissal as to count 3, however.
Yes, and I appreciate the court. I meant to say that. But no, yeah.
Before we do this other case, I'm going to do a dismissal and a waiver. Okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
Can I get dismissal form as well, Judge?
There are any out there?
Should be on the
Okay.
And if the record was not clear, we're still on the record on that case. So there's ruling is crystal clear. The court is remanding the defendant for the protection of the community. I think he's a clear and present danger. Okay, Mr. Riggins, what do you have, sir?
Yeah, I have Brandon Smith is going to be a.
Brandon Smith, okay. Calling case 2457108, State of Michigan versus Brandon Ellis Smith. Defendant is charged in count 1 assault with intent to do great bodily harm, less than murder or by strangulation. Count 2 domestic violence. Appearances for the record.
Good morning, Your Honor. Shelley Drain for the people, P number 60249.
And good morning, Your Honor. Good morning to your staff. Neighborhood Defender Services by Ken Riggins, P82125, on behalf of Mr. Brandon Ellis Smith, who stands with me to my right. Mr. Smith, can you state your name for the record?
Brandon Ellis Smith. Today's the date and time set for preliminary examination, Mr. Riggins.
Yeah, I have spoken with my client about a preliminary examination. My client understands that the state has a probable cause burden to show that he committed the crime, likely committed the crime in the city of Detroit County, Wayne. After consultation, it is my client's intention to waive preliminary examination as a matter bound over to circuit court for further proceedings.
All right, please raise your right hand, sir. You swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Thank you, sir. You understand you have a statutory, keep your hand up. You understand you have a statutory right to have a preliminary examination. By waiving the same, that means you won't have one, you'll be bound over to Wayne County Third Circuit Court as you stand charged with the complaint form. You understand the nature and the purpose of the preliminary examination? You understand if you were to have one, the prosecution had to establish that the primary charge was committed in the city of Detroit, that was probably cause to be committed. Is anyone forcing you to waive your right? Does anyone promise you anything? Are you waiving your right freely and voluntarily? Any objection from the people?
No objection, Your Honor.
Court finds defendant's waivers made knowingly and voluntarily through the guilty court or finding defendant over to Wayne County Third Circuit Court, Criminal Division for further proceedings. His arraignment on the information date and time will be June 5th, 2024 at 9:00 a.m. Final will be taken.
Your Honor, I would just ask that the court reiterate the no contact provision. The complainant has stated that she received a top video that was from the defendant about a week ago. But I'm just asking the court to
Sir, you don't want to go to jail, do you? Okay, make sure you don't. No contact means no contact. You understand? You understand what I'm saying to you? You understand that if you do contact her, she's gonna tell you. And then they're gonna try to put you in jail. You understand? You don't want that, do you?
All right. Your Honor, there are minor children in common between the two. And it's my understanding my client has not seen his children since the beginning of this case. He does have an aunt that lives nearby. He's asking to be able to see his children.
So that's not within my province. It's gonna have to go through the family court with that, the Third Circuit Court. Let them work out any visitation that has to take place. And whatever they order, adjust this order as well. This order should be adjusted to comply with whatever they. Mr. Kenneth.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning. So you ready on Brian Francis?
We're ready on Francis, Your Honor.
2 minutes is dismissed.
Calling case 2457113, the State of Michigan versus Brian Francis. Defendant is charged in count 1, criminal sexual conduct, first degree during felony. Count 2, home invasion, first degree. Count 3, domestic violence, second offense. Defendant has an additional offense, fourth offense notice. Appearances for the record, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. Shelley Drain for the people, P number 60249.
May it please the court, Neighborhood Defender Service of Detroit by Jeffrey Kenneth, P 64800 on behalf of Mr. Francis. Mr. Francis, please state your name for the record.
My name is Brian Case Francis.
So today's the date and time for the preliminary examination. Are you ready to proceed, Ms. Ma'am?
Your Honor, it's my understanding that the complainant is not here. However, the officer in charge is outside. I was just notified that they were outside. If I could just have just a short moment to. Right. I'm ready to.
Okay.
Your Honor, the certificate is not here, it is, 20 minutes after the date she was supposed to, the time that she was supposed to be here, she was notified of the date, time, location to be here. The officer in charge is here, the officer in charge, has not been able to get in contact with her today, but has spoken with her before. She knew to be here, she's not here, I cannot proceed without her testimony.
Move to dismiss, Your Honor.
So, or court will dismiss this matter without prejudice, that is the dismissal order.
Yes, sir.
Reach out to me when you're out.
Mr. Gagnon, where did you go?
Here, 11:30, sir, Mr. Laird.
What's going on with that case? What are we doing?
Be all set.
Is that gonna be a whole case?
I'm not sure, Your Honor. I would expect it's a waiver, if my client, when my client.
All right, just let us know what's going on. In the meantime, we're gonna go back on the record on Demetrius Dante Gibbons. Thank you, sir. All right.
Have a good day, Judge.
Thank you as well.
No, I didn't. Swear to God. Swear to God. See how it goes.
Where did Ms. Howard go?
I don't know, Your Honor, I'll just look for her.
Okay, thank you. Okay, recalling case 2457051, People State of Michigan versus Demetrius Dante Gibbons. Defendant is charged in count 1 kidnapping, count 2 criminal sexual conduct, first degree during felony. Appearances for the record.
Thank you, Your Honor. Elis Gallagher, on behalf of the people, Assistant Attorney General, P775510.
And good morning, Tiffany, on behalf of Demetrius Gibbons, P79667. Yours is name correct?
Okay, today's the date, time set for preliminary examination. In this matter, are the people ready to proceed?
Yeah, Your Honor.
Sorry?
Yeah, Your Honor.
Okay, how many witnesses on this case?
This one might have an extra additional witness,
That's fine. So 2?
2 total.
Okay. Any preliminary matters before you call witnesses?
The only preliminary matter, Your Honor, is count 2 right now is only charged as during a felony. I believe after the proofs are elicited, it will change, and I'd be moving to amend it and bind over as a multiple variable.
All right, defense counsel, judge, place on notice.
Yes, Judge.
Call your witness.
Thank you. People call me a white.
Have her name, Madam Clerk. I didn't judge. Ma'am, please raise your right hand. Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth so help you God? Thank you. Please have a seat in the witness box right next to me. Voice up nice and loud and speak to that microphone that'll be to your left, okay? Just yank it over. Ready, give me your ready.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'm gonna ask you some questions about back in December 2014, okay? How old were you about back then?
Speak into the microphone for me, please. It's easier to pick the face up and place it in your lap. It just sticks, just put up, there you go.
Okay, nice, one more time. So how old were you about back then?
17.
And were you where were you working at the time?
I'm seeing at East Line.
Okay. And do you recall on December 9th of 2014 working at Eastland Mall and trying to go home on a bus and something happened to you?
Yes.
Okay. So what time just approximately did you get off your shift at the mall?
Let's say around 10.
10 p.m. at night or around nighttime?
Yes.
Okay. And so what do you do after that? Do you go home?
Well, I waited for the bus that came beside Eastern Mall. I'm there to the 8 Mile and Gratiot. And the 8 Mile bus came from, so I just decided to walk home.
Okay, so you went to the 8 Mile and Gratiot in the city of Detroit, Michigan?
Yes.
Okay. And so you started to walk home. How far a walk was that?
About 20, 25 minutes.
And so what are you able to tell me about what happened to not allow you to go home?
The guy had first passed me and stopped me and said something, but I couldn't hear because I had headphones in. And he had me go to the side of the building.
Okay, you said a guy, had you ever seen that guy before?
No.
Okay, and you said had me go. Tell me more.
Well, he told me to come to the side of the building, and he made it seem as if he had a weapon. And so I came to the side with him, and he instructed me to put my pants down.
And when you say, I mean, he made it seem like he had a weapon, what was he doing?
Like he had his hand, and I want to say his weapon.
Okay. And as you were walking, do you remember feeling his hands touch you in any capacity?
No, like I don't remember, but I believe he just kind of brushed past and stopped.
You. And so once you saw his, what you thought might be a weapon, what did you do next?
Don't remember. I was scared. I don't remember. I was scared.
What are you able to tell me about feeling scared?
I just didn't know what to do.
How did you know where to go?
Sorry?
Was he telling you where to go?
Yes.
You kind of moving your body?
Yes.
Okay. And so where'd you end up?
On the side of a building.
And do you recall, was it pretty dark outside by that point?
Yes.
So when you're on that side of the building, what's the first thing you are able to tell me?
Like I said, he had to pull my pants down.
Okay. And after your pants, you pulled your pants, he had to pull your pants down. What did you see next?
What did I see?
What did you feel next?
Where he sexually assaulted me.
Okay. What are you able to tell me about what happened?
I don't remember.
When you say he sexually assaulted you, what did he do?
He had to pull my pants down and put his down.
And what part of his body came into what part of your body? I know these are stupid questions, but the record has to be clear. I apologize.
His penis onto my vagina.
Okay, and at that point, what are you thinking?
I don't remember.
What are you able to tell me about it stopped at some point?
Yes, he like got up, just kind of walked away, back towards Avon and Gratiot. And I just walked home.
Were you living with anyone at the time?
Yes, my mom, and my brother.
Okay. And so when you got home, what'd you do?
I told my mom, and she called the police.
And did the police come?
Yes.
And so you spoke to somebody from the police station at that point?
Yes.
And then after that, do you recall getting in an ambulance?
Yes.
Okay. And then going to get what we kind of call a sexual assault kit?
Yes.
What are you able to tell me about that part?
It was very, very uncomfortable.
Tell me more about being uncomfortable.
I don't know.
Do you remember a nurse kind of touching your body all over?
Yes.
Okay. And you remember her kind of taking some swabs?
Yes.
And so after you saw the nurse, what are you able to tell me? What, if anything, in your life changed after that?
Well, I kind of just distance myself from my family because I don't want everybody to feel sorry for me. And I stopped going to school.
And have you ever had to get any kind of like medication or any kind of counseling or anything? What are you able to tell me about how this has impacted just like your everyday life?
Well, up until now, just the feeling of not knowing.
When you say the feeling of not knowing, are you talking about not knowing kind of where this person is or something else?
Why it happened, who it was, everything.
And I know you said it was dark out at the time, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, could you tell me, were you able to get a look at the person's face or not really, or help me understand?
Really?
And then you were calling later on in 2024, the police kind of had you look at some photos.
Yes.
Okay, and you weren't able to pick out anyone, is that fair? Okay. And I'm going to show you what some previous remarks people proposed 5, 6, and 7 are previously shown to the defense counsel.
Okay.
All right. Do you recognize what's in people's proposed 5?
Yes.
And how do you recognize it?
This is when I was walking.
That's where you were walking? Okay, walking home back in 2014?
Yes.
After the bus station?
Yes.
Great. And then people's proposed, is it 4? 6. Sorry about that.
Yes.
Do you recognize people's proposed 6?
Yes.
And how?
That's where it happened.
Okay, and then what about people's proposed 7?
Yes.
And how?
That's the where it happened.
Okay, that's where you were like pushed towards off the path home? Are those very accurate? Is that, well, let me ask you this. When were those photos taken?
Well, this is recently, but
Okay.
this wasn't real.
Okay, fair. So recently, did you kind of go with Detective Audie and go to the crime scene or where this happened to you?
Yes.
Okay, and were you able to show him where it happened?
Yes.
But this is in 2024, obviously.
Yes.
So it looks a little different, but that's the location?
Yes.
And you were able to pick it out?
Yes.
People would move for admission.
Yes.
No, Judge.
May I publish, Your Honor?
Yes. Thank you.
When you went into that kind of back alley behind that store, what, were you able to see anything, hear anything, or was it pretty desolate? Karen, at this time, the people would move for admission of People's One, which is the same exam of Mia White, under 76611B. Further, Your Honor, the people would move for admission of People's 2, 3, and 4, which are the associated lab reports under MCL 76611B, for purposes of preliminary exam only.
Any objection?
No objection for purposes of preliminary examination.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I said no objection to it being used for at the preliminary examination.
Oh, and then,
Thank you, Your Honor. May I read that portion into the record? Okay. People's One, Your Honor, is a sane exam, SJM 14-084. Patient named Mia White from 12/9/2014. And the history of chief complaint states, patient states, quote, "He grabbed me around my neck, told me to come with him, took me behind the building. He told me to pull my pants down, then he put his penis into my vagina, then he got up and left." And that was dated 12/9/2014. And then further, Your Honor, just for the record, on page 5 of 10, there was some redness noted, influence of tenderness, for the general area. With regards to the lab, just for the record, Your Honor, People's 2 and 3 and 4 are all laboratory number NV 14-10038. The first one, record number 1, completed May 11/2015, but received December 19/2014. And that is a kit of Mia White. Record 2 is a search of CODIS into the database, Your Honor, to put the profile in, and then record 3, which is People's 4, is an actual CODIS notification. DNA data and specimen is Demetrius Gibbons. May I have questions to the court, Your Honor?
yes, please.
I just have a couple other follow-up questions, okay? Ms. White, when you were trying to walk home that day, what were you wearing at that point? I know you said you had pants on.
Coat. I'm working a bit.
Oh, you're working on from the mall still? And when you went to your house and you finally got home, what, if anything, are you able to tell me about your emotional state at that point?
I guess I was just kind of in shock.
I'm ready for this to finish, Your Honor.
No questions.
Okay, here I go with the dumb questions again. Ready? Okay. You said that you were walking because the bus didn't come.
Yeah.
You were gonna walk home, is that right?
Yeah.
And you said the defendant brushed past you.
Yes.
And he made you go to the side of the building.
Yes.
You say made you go, that means you didn't want to go to the side of the building, is that right?
Yes.
And you went to the side of the building because he was acting like he had a weapon, is that right?
Yes.
Where was this building located?
Right off of Avon.
Was that in the city of Detroit?
Yes.
And at the time that you were sexually assaulted, penis to vagina, did you notice whether or not he had on a condom? Okay. And you said you're not able to identify the person who did this, right?
Yes.
Okay. I want you to take a look at the person that's seated here in the courtroom wearing the green with the glasses on at the table there. Do you know that man? Have you ever had consensual sex with that man?
No.
All right, any questions based on my question?
No, Judge.
All right, thank you, ma'am. You may step in. Any other witnesses on behalf of the people?
I don't think for purposes of exam, Your Honor, because I think I can just argue circumstantial like based on the exhibits that are admitted.
Witnesses on behalf of the defendant.
No, Judge.
Okay, people?
Thank you, Your Honor. Based on the proofs that were elicited today and the testimony that was taken, we will provide over on both counts 1 and 2. Counts 2, the people are moved from blending and making it a multiple variable. Criminals are still counted in the first degree. It would be MCL 750.520B. And the 3 theories, being force and coercion with personal injury being mental anguish, the weapon or facilitating an object that would create the illusion or appearance of a weapon, and or an admission of a felony to a kidnapping. I believe that the testimony provided, and then the fact that that same kit was taken that same day, and then that same kit was processed by MSP, and then that gave us the codicil with the DNA specimen from the swab that was inside of the victim, showing that that was in fact DNA of Demetrius Gibbons for probable cause circumstantial kind of at this point.
Question, sir.
I agree. This is a question. In fact, the court, after hearing the testimony of the young Ms. White, is satisfied that people have met their burden of probable cause as it relates to the charges contained in the complaint. 1. The court finds those charges were committed in the city of Detroit. The court finds probable cause to believe this and committed. Then it will be bound over to Wayne County Third Circuit Court Criminal Division for proceedings. His arraignment on the information date and time will be May 29, 2024 at 9:00 p.m. And the defendant will be remanded to the custody of the Wayne County Sheriff for protection of the community. Thank you.
Judge, just before, I would like to make another bond argument. Judge, I understand your position as to the last case, but I just want to bring to this court's attention that my client was 16, 18 when these incidents, these cases happened. Since then, since 2014, he has not had any other accusations or CODIS hits regarding to any type of sexual assault. He is now a 29-year-old man, father. He's obviously married. He's in a different point of his life. Judge, what he may or may not have done back when he was 16 or 18 does not reflect who he is today. Since then, he has not been a threat to the community. And Judge, it's my position that if the court's concern is whether or not Mr. Gibbons is going to be a threat to the community, there's other ways in which the court can protect the community. One of which is allowing him to be out on bond and be out on GPS tether, or Judge, even home confinement. Because again, this isn't a case in which he assaulted someone maybe like 2 weeks ago, a week ago. This is something that occurred many years ago, many moons ago, when he was a different person, different stage of his life, and a lot younger. He is not the same person. So I do ask the court to reconsider and to consider alternative ways to ensure the community is safe while still allowing Mr. Gibbons to be released, to be back with his family and to prepare to, deal with his criminal matters.
Just a couple of factual things. In 2022, he actually did have a CCW with a gun. So just in terms of post 2012, 2014, violent rapes. And then also when the defendant was arrested on these warrants, he was picked up, he had a switchblade on him. But further, Your Honor, there's also been multiple failure to appears that are documented. So just with regards to any kind of fight, but more so, I think Your Honor has already stated very articulated reasons why this defendant is not only a danger to the victim in this case and the other victim, but also the community at large. And the fact that potentially there aren't POTUS hits post 2014, which I don't know that to be a fact. They have to check that to make sure. But I mean, this is a person that is presenting himself to have weapons, taking young women off the streets, and then does have a CCW and other weapon charges later on.
All right, so I have a defendant that stands before this court charged with 2 violent rapes. And both witnesses were very credible witnesses. And particularly the first witness who described in very great detail the horror that this man subjected her to allegedly. He has changed the course of their lives forever. And although I recognize the purpose of bond is not for punishment, I can also look to the likelihood of conviction. And I think the likelihood of conviction here is great. And carries very little weight with me that the defendant has not been caught up in anything since 2019 or 2020 with the CCW, but before that, these sexual assaults. In 2012, when the first one took place, who knows if that was the first one? But in 2014, another one takes place. You could have made the same argument then, but we didn't know anything about the one in 2012. Saying that, oh, Judge, he's not been in any trouble. But we didn't know about the alleged sexual assault in 2012. And that was in 2014. I don't know what's forthcoming, if anything is forthcoming. But I do find that this defendant is a clear danger to the community. And the court is going to remand him to the custody of the Wayne County Sheriff. Thank you.
Hey, John. I like that.
I just want to make a copy of it. Help me out with that.
And then just follow me up here when the time is ready.
I just don't.
Thank you. Oh, thank you.
There is no set date charge. Prosecutorial discretion at the charge of your resident code if necessary. Typically, you see 16 Daniel Omar Laird. Calling case 2457136 for the state of Michigan versus Nathaniel Omar Laird. Defendant's charged in count 1 assault with intent to do great bodily harm, less than murder or rash strangulation. Count 2 domestic violence. Appearances for the record.
Almost afternoon, Your Honor. Madison Orr on behalf of the people requesting permission under MCR 8.120B under the supervision of Attorney Shelley Drain. Thanks.
And good day, sir. Brian Gagnon, Neighborhood Defender Service, 264-220.
Good morning, Mr. Gagnon. And your name for the record, sir?
Daniel Omar Laird.
It is the date, time set for preliminary examination. Are you ready to proceed?
The people are not ready to proceed, Your Honor. The complaining witness was notified of today's date and time of the preliminary examination, and some of our victim advocates did try getting a hold of the complaining witness in this case this morning and were unsuccessful in doing so. And so without her here, we are unable to proceed without her testimony today.
Please dismiss, Your Honor, without prejudice.
So order, court will dismiss this matter without prejudice.
Thank you.
And would you like to forward some papers? Or else, no. I'll be out in 2 minutes.
So that's it for today, folks. Hope to see you tomorrow, same bad station, same bad time. Okay. Outside. Okay, all right. Okay, I'm ready.
You're not saying.
Don't you want to hear, question be about my whereabouts? So. Yeah.
Hey, what's up? How you doing?
I'm okay.
You all right?
Yes, I was next door, so I just hang away that.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you.
The court officers ruled. The court officer ruled accosting me, asking me what my purpose is for my presence. Like I'm accountable to him.
You try to have it.